Watching Aang's journey to becoming the Avatar is a piece of television history no one will ever be able to recreate again. The magic of those moments is isolated in the original spirit of the writers and animators. Still, I wanted to get a little nostalgic about Avatar: The Last Airbender today and look back at his mentors. For this list, I aim to rank his bevy of teachers by their impact on Aang and his journey. Sounds a bit better and less subjective than worst to best, right?
We're seeing this through to the end. We're gonna meet these masters and find out what's so great about them.
Jeong Jeong being at the bottom of this list proves one thing. There are no terrible entries on this list. I know that there are plenty of fans of him and his teachings to Aang. As a White Lotus member and known widely as the Deserter, Jeong Jeong's apprehension towards firebending is made clear from the first moment we meet him in Book 1. His lessons with Aang show his in-depth knowledge of firebending, even if he looks at it as a burning curse. Jeong Jeong immediately calls out Aang for showing no discipline and rushing through his journey. When Aang gets impatient and tries to firebend, he burns Katara, thus proving Jeong Jeong correct. Ultimately, the impact Jeong Jeong has on Aang is small but mighty. He keeps Aang reluctant to learn firebending and enlightens him about the dangers of disrespecting fire's wild nature as a foil to air. There's a lot of members of the White Lotus that either knew Aang or taught him. Pakku is just another example of their reach into the Avatar's journey. While Aang began his lessons in waterbending well before meeting Pakku, he needed a strong waterbender to teach him more advanced techniques. The thing about Pakku is the viewer doesn't get a lot of the teachings he instills in Aang at any point. We know that he teaches Aang a lot, but his impact in the storyline is more situated with Katara. In fact, his teaching style doesn't fit Aang super well. Pakku sees Aang as a slow learner and tasks Katara with mentoring him when they depart the Northern Water Tribe. So while Pakku isn't a pushover in any sense, he doesn't leave the same mark on Aang that he does with Katara. I like Pakku, but we all know who really teaches Aang waterbending. One thing I especially love about Avatar: The Last Airbender is the way it brings complex characters and concepts to a show marketed for children. The Sun Warriors believe Ran and Shaw are two of the original firebenders. Their dragon dance is one of the most primal forms of elemental bending we see in the show. I consider them teachers for both Aang and Zuko, and they're introduced at such a crucial time in the narrative. Both Aang and Zuko are distrusting of their own abilities in firebending. There's no trust in each other, and there's no trust in the process. To both of them, firebending is a destructive art used to conquer. Ran and Shaw show them the true meaning of firebending and its connection to life, not death. Without this lesson, there is no ending to the story, because Aang and Zuko wouldn't get past their belief systems and learn the truth. Guru Pathik is an interesting character. On the one hand, he bridges the gap between these tantric Buddhism and Hindu concepts and the Western perception of chakras. Explaining the process of meditation and yoga to a kid seems daunting to some adults, yet Guru Pathik does it with ease. Aang's lessons with him are some of the most zen moments in the show. More importantly, Guru Pathik can illustrate the imbalance in Aang and the issues he continues to hold on to in the material world. Guru Pathik is an enlightened mentor who teaches Aang how to open the Avatar state without an emotional episode burdening Aang. Plus, he helps Aang connect to the spirit world and reach out to the Avatars who came before him. While some people tend to forget that Guru Pathik is a teacher in this show, you can't have most of this journey without his teachings. The first two books of Aang's journey give us a lot to marvel at when it comes to Aang's outlook on his role and the journey ahead. Aang is carefree and happy to be on this adventure. His entire attitude comes from his time learning with monk Gyatso, Aang's father figure in the show. Gyatso trained two avatars. I think the slim moments we see of him with Avatar Roku help encapsulate his teaching's value. Gyatso knows the importance of letting go and relaxing in between lessons. We even see Roku laugh with him. No wonder Aang holds such a sunny disposition. Gyatso played games and had fun with Aang every chance he got. Monk Gyatso shaped Aang into the character we meet, but he's also a massive part of the regret that holds Aang back. Some critics out there like to call the last lion turtle that meets Aang near the end of the show a deus ex machina. In reality, these creatures formed the original concept of the show. Fans of Avatar even discover more of the lion turtle lore in Legend of Korra, so I like to see the lion turtle as more of a final mentor for Aang to learn under before the final battle. Energy bending is what helped give people the ability to bend elements to begin with, and is why many civilizations lived on the backs of these lion turtles. They would grant humans elemental bending to protect themselves from the dangers of the spirit world. Aang takes this knowledge of energy bending and uses it to block Fire Lord Ozai from using his abilities. Toph Beifong is a pure, unadulterated badass. She's the earthbender that finally teaches Aang how to sturdy his mind and emboldens his bending so that he can finally do some earthbending. It's important to point out that becoming an earthbender would be difficult for Aang to accomplish. After all, the rigid philosophy and grounded nature of the art form aren't exactly in his wheelhouse. Toph's unique perspective on how the ground moves and communicates is crucial to getting the message across. Without Toph, the lessons in earthbending might have taken way longer, and her addition to the group was a significant upgrade. Hell, she invented metal bending. Toph taught Aang how to stand tall and strong when fighting, and that proved to be impactful. If you had told me that Zuko would be the one who taught Aang how to firebend, I would have believed you. However, I'd be eager to know how we get from point A to point B. Overall, it turned out to be a wild ride worth staying around for in the end. Zuko's character arc is jaw-dropping and makes him one of the most critical people in Aang's journey. Now, before I go any further, shout out to Uncle Iroh for making it all possible. His lessons and teachings that he passes down to Zuko helps make it all possible. Zuko takes those concepts and transfers them over to Aang, who slowly learns to accept Prince Zuko's complex characteristics. As far as impact goes, Zuko is the one who helps Aang learn the truth behind firebending. Moreover, he helps teach Aang to respect fire as an ancient art form. Honestly, how could we put anyone else at the top of this list? She was Aang's second teacher and the one who discovered him in the ice. Without Katara, Aang is still a popsicle most likely. She's his greatest motivator and the one person he can't let go of when all's said and done. The blossoming of Katara and Aang's relationship elevated the show. It works because they're friends before anything else happens, and the show gives them the time and patience for those feelings to grow. A lot of that is felt through Katara teaching Aang. It's hard to put into words the impact she has on Aang's journey. Katara and Aang go together like Appa and Yip Yip. You can't picture the show without those two together.
Great. I know it's great.
Oh, I'm glad you know.
I'm glad you're glad.
Good.
Fine.
My only regret is that I couldn't find a way to sneak Sokka into this list. His character arc is the most underrated part of the series. He literally makes his way through a global war with just a boomerang and a sword. It's a real shame he didn't get a lot of mentoring time with Aang, but still, shout out to Sokka for being awesome.